Today we're going to be talking about the charge of possession of marijuana. And in North Carolina, each controlled substance or drug has a different classification. Marijuana carries with it a classification which is not as severe as other controlled substances, but it is taken very seriously. We see a lot of these kind of cases in our office. The more common type situation is someone is at a festival, someone is out at a fair, and their buddy lights up a joint, and before you know it, the police are there, and not only is your buddy charged, but you're also charged with the issue of possession of marijuana. Obviously, you need to be truthful with the officer. If you didn't consume any, if you didn't touch it, you need to say, it wasn't in my possession. But let's say they are going to charge you with possession. The first thing you need to do is make sure you know whether or not their presence in your life at that point in time is legal. If you're minding your own business, if you're not doing anything wrong, and a police officer comes up and says, "May I search your person? May I search your bag?" you obviously have a constitutional right to say, why? What have I done to give you a suspicion that I have anything illegal on my person? And you be very respectful. If they can't articulate that, then you need to say respectfully, no, you may not search me. You'd be surprised at the number of clients we have that simply say, sure, search. I don't know why they think they're not going to find anything. Maybe they think they're invincible. Maybe they think their luck's going to hold out, but they inevitably get caught with something. I had one client who got caught one time with a Xanax in his pocket. It was prescribed. He had it in his pocket. He didn't have the pill bottle. Told the officer he could search it. Charged with possession of Xanax. Obviously, we had to work that out for him. But let's say you're at the fair and your buddy lights up a joint. You're standing there. What may you be looking at with respect to a potential charge? Well, in North Carolina, we go on the amount of the drug that you have with respect to potential penalty. If you happen to have a pipe, you'll be looking at a paraphernalia charge as well as a possession charge. If you have a bag, if it's in a plastic bag, they'll charge you with possession and paraphernalia. The paraphernalia would be the plastic bag, and a lot of times you'll see the charge and you won't know what it's about. You'll say, I didn't have a pipe, I didn't have a roach clip, I didn't have anything, I didn't have any rolling paper, and they charged me. That's what the charge is, just to let you know. In North Carolina, if you have a half ounce or less of marijuana, you're looking at no time. However, it will build on your record. So if you employ our firm, the first goal we have is to try to get you away from the charge as quickly as we can. For example, we would look at, if there was a possession and a paraphernalia charge, look at trying to get a plea with respect to the paraphernalia charge in order to help you out with respect to the possession charge. If you have a half ounce or 1.5 ounces, which is not a lot, you're looking at 1 to 45 days in jail. Now the judge has some discretion in that. It all depends on how you act. If you're rude to the police officer, if you're difficult to deal with, you're looking at potential jail time. Now one of the key components is the issue of sale or delivery. If they infer at any time that they think you might be utilizing the marijuana for purposes of sale, then you could be in big trouble. The penalty goes up tremendously because of the concept that you were attempting to sell it. We had a client stopped one time, had some marijuana, and during the stop, there was a text that came through on his phone. Unfortunately, our client had consented to a full search. Once that search began, the officer picked up my client's phone. The text message was, "Where's the pot?" Another area with respect to the amount of potential marijuana that you might have would be 1.5 ounces to 10 pounds. And I know that's a big spread, but depending on more than an ounce and a half up to 10 pounds, it could be anywhere from 3 to 8 months in jail. So it's very serious. One thing that's very important, and please hear me, if you happen to have any type of marijuana at all, do not go on the Federal Parkway. simply do not go on federal grounds. Don't go in federal parks, don't go on the federal parkway. It carries with it a very stringent approach with respect to prosecution of the claim. If you find yourself in a situation where you're looking at a potential distribution or sale issue, that carries with it even more penalties. And that is an inferred or a charge that's drawn from the circumstances. When I use the word inferred, that means the officers come up, he sees you there, he sees a wad of money in your pocket. You may have just gotten paid, you may have cashed your paycheck, and he may see 2 or 3 joints in the other pocket, and so what is he thinking? He's thinking, oh, you're a drug dealer. You sell pot. And you have to be very careful. For example, if you're within 1,000 feet of a school, the charge could go up to over a year in prison. So, as it relates to the material that you may have or may be caught with, obviously the first thing to do is ask the officer, why are you stopping me? Know your constitutional rights. They don't have a right to simply just arbitrarily stop you. They need to be able to articulate it. I've told clients in the past, if you have an iPhone, use the iPhone. Tape record the stop. If you have a friend there, make sure that the friend takes copious notes, writes down everything that they remember that transpired. All of this is potential evidence in your defense. If there's no valid stop, then obviously there's no valid charge. If the officer simply stopped you because you were driving a white Mustang, that's not a reason to stop someone. But if the officer stopped you because that officer believed that you somehow were within a school district, you were selling marijuana, then you have yourself a real problem. As with any controlled substance, the key is, firstly, don't have it. If you happen to be around it, you need to protect yourself with the Constitution of the United States. Make sure that any search is legal, make sure that any stop is legal, and make sure, above all, you're courteous and cooperative with the officer. Don't try to lie your way out of it. A lot of my clients get in deeper trouble because they try to hide. Our firm is here to help you. This is a literal maze of legal paperwork that can cause you a lot of trouble. Our goal is to minimize the situation and to expedite it and get you in and out of court as quickly as possible and hopefully preserve your good record. Thank you.